when people say, oh, it's not black enough. Like, okay, you go to the Temptations, you go to the Supremes, you go to, I mean, Diana Ross, Aretha Franklin, right? Like all this stuff where it was great music. I mean, Benton Harbor, my dad's from Detroit, right? Motown. In other words, we objectively, and you can even go back further. You go to Johnny Mathis, you could go, I mean, Nat King Cole. And then it's like, but that would be considered too white today. And white people go, wait, hold on a second, wet ass pussy. Like, this is awful. It's and this is at a potential presidential rally.
Yeah.
These are two very different cultures. Well, thanks for the countdown to it. It was all professional because you counted 5, 4, and I like how you didn't say 3, 2 because no, you don't, because you don't want them to hear you. That's how you know he's a pro. Unlike myself, today is either Nash Wednesday or not. I have no idea. Only one of our guests is partaking in a cigar, so I am as well. You know them as the Cartier family on YouTube. I want to make sure I have the plug right. Is it the Cartier family on YouTube?
Cartier, yes sir.
Okay. We got Taj.
Yes.
Got Brandon. And then what name do you use?
Brock. Yeah, on YouTube it's just Brock Appia, A-P-P-I-A-H.
Okay, I want to make sure. Now, are these like stage names, or these are your?
No, that's my real name. Yeah,
my real name.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for coming out. I appreciate it. I guess I don't even know where we start. You want to plug your individual channels first, and then I'm just gonna.
Okay.
We'll just throw it out there.
Yeah. All right, so it's Brock Appia on YouTube, BROCKAPPIAH. And I basically do the same things that we do on the Cartier family channel. I look at politics and things like that, but I try to look at it more from like a biblical perspective. And yeah, just try to, keep it real and say what I think.
Yeah, I'm Brandon Rohn on all social medias. BRV, like Violet, NDONRHONE. That's my name across all socials. I'm more active on like Instagram and TikTok. Probably gonna fire my YouTube channel back up. I just post workout videos on there, but yeah, that's where you can find me.
If you get those push-up yoga pants, I understand you could do quite well with work.
Yeah, that's the women's cheat code.
Especially if you can complain when people are looking at your push-up bra on your ass. Oh, then you get even more credit. You're just like, why are you looking? It's like, because you have an ass painted on your ass, on the pants. But I guess I have to pretend that we're not. And yes, you, sir, the only one with a cigar.
My name is Taj. My YouTube is Tay Glory Reacts. I pretty much react to body cam footage and pretty much make fun of what happened in the body cam footage. So that's what I do.
Now, what do you mean make fun of? Because I'm sure this is a good way to lead this off, right? I was there in 20, where they were like, we need more body cams for policing. And it was the one where we were like, sure, fine. I was saying police brutality is one of those things where there are a lot of stories that are not what people were sold. And then I would like to make sure that bad cops are held to account. But now there's a whole movement that body cams are bad, so it's flipped. So you've been here this. What do you notice when you watch the body?
It exposed a lot of behaviors that did not expect with the cops. Actually, after reacting to a lot of body cam footage, I realized that the cops actually got a hard job.
Oh man!
A lot of these people attitudes, I can see why some people end up dying from their situation, because some people don't know how to respond properly with the cops.
Yeah, what I think I learned, obviously you guys know, like I'm the only white guy. I was like, it doesn't seem like black guys are that afraid of the cops.
Oh no.
When I watched the body cam, like I would never imagine like being pulled over, like, sir, do you know why I pulled you over? And me like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Like, we would never
It's interesting, like they immediately get hostile when the police like pull them over. It's like, this could go a completely different way if you're cool.
Yeah, it's like it's like they don't want to de-escalate the situation. That's what fuels my soul sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, to me, it's that we were told like driving while black, we're deathly afraid of cops. Now, we could get into like, the actual violent interactions and how statistically there's no different as far as lethal force, but there is some time as far as restraining rate. There was that study out of, what's his name, Roland at Harvard, who then was made an Uncle Tom. But just the snapshot, I'm like, it doesn't seem like these people are afraid of police at all because they act in a way that nobody I know would talk to police.
Yeah, right. No, I wasn't. Well, my mom is a lawyer, so I was taught, don't trust the police. That's what they say. They don't trust the cop. They're not, like, that's what they told me. But I was never taught to be hostile with the police. I'm respectful with everyone, especially in a in a police situation. Like, I don't want it to go bad. Right. I really want to get in and out, So I've never had a bad interaction with the police. I've never been treated bad with police. Obviously, I can't speak for everyone else's experiences, but I'm a yes sir, no sir type of guy. So I never had a bad experience.
I've had a bad experience with police.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah. I was in Wyoming and I was going, I might have been going like almost 80, but the limit was 70. And I was just driving. There's nothing. As far as I could have literally blown all 4 tires and spun into nothing as far as the eye can see. And the cop pulls me over. He goes, hey, you're going really fast past that town back there. And I said, that's a town? He goes, why are you going so fast? I said, they get the hell out of the way. I'm like, there's nothing here. I don't want to be here. He's like, are you getting smart? I'm like, no, just give me the ticket. But that was my last ticket. It was a long time ago. But he right away was like, you going fast? He goes, you know how fast you were going? So I wasn't taught to not trust cops. I was taught to not give them information that they don't already have. Like if they say, do you know how fast you're going? Say, no, officer, can you please tell me? Because you could incriminate yourself.
Yeah, same. That's exactly what I was taught.
Yeah.
Like that is what she meant by don't trust them.
Right.
But I've never had anything escalate to where I'm getting pulled out of the car or anything like that.
Yeah. My grandpa was a Oklahoma City cop for like 20 years. So he just told me, when you get pulled over, just be like, hey man, sorry, didn't realize it. I apologize. Yeah. I do that every time. And literally the last time I got pulled over, the cop was like, since you were so cool, I decided not to give you a ticket. He's like, I was gonna give you a ticket. I was guilty. I was speeding, 25 over, should have got a ticket. Like I knew I was wrong.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, man, I'm sorry. I didn't even notice it. Like I apologize completely. And he was like, you know what? You're good. Just go. Just
I was told that never happens.
Yeah.
No, it happens. No, it happened to me.
True. Like we were leaving our record space once and I changed lanes and I guess I drifted into another lane. I changed fast. And the cop pulled me over, and we were like in a busy highway. So I kind of pulled over where she could step out. She was like, well, why'd you take so long to pull over? It's like, well, if I pulled over, I didn't want you to get hit. And she was like, oh. She took my ID, and she's like, you know what? Just go.
Yeah, she's like, I don't need your info. As a matter of fact, here's my number for being such a
I was like, well, it wouldn't be safe if I got out. You might get hit. She was like, oh. She paused, and she like took my ID. She came back. She was like, I'm getting another call. Just go. I was like, all right.
Should have got her number at that point.
Yeah, she was good looking. I won't lie. She was a nice Latina cop.
Yeah, well, Latinas, that's the great uniter among all men of all racial makeups. Like, no problem. In a good way, sweetie. Probably watching. That being said, they're all a little bit racist.
Oh.
Hispanics are so... I am convinced now that white Americans are the least racist group because I've spent enough time around Asian Americans, Hispanic Americans, and I will say, yes, black Americans. You, as a group, you guys are definitively more racist than white people.
I mean, I won't argue with that.
It's fine. I don't care. It's fine. Like you know, what are some stereotypes you have of white people? Like, what is it that we smell like chicken or something?
I think it's mostly just like they assume that, like I've seen a lot of people look at a white man and just automatically assume like he doesn't like me or he thinks a certain type of way or, you know, he's rich or just, you know, his white privilege. And I don't know. I think it's just a case by case basis. But I do think especially like in the South with women, like I know black people are like a lot of times taught like don't bring no white girl home, you know?
Yeah.
I remember the first time I heard that, I'm like, well, what if the roles were reversed here? And then you would say that person is a racist.
Yeah.
But you know what used to be crazy back in the day, even on like movies and everything, they used to portray white people as the friendliest people. Yeah. Like even like Dave Chappelle, Cat Williams, back in the day, they used to say, if I had a white friend, I know he's gonna call, make sure I get out of jail.
Their white guy voice. They're like, man, you guys are killing us. Like, but why is your white guy voice always like this? Well, gee willikers, I certainly want to. I was like, you guys don't think. How about this? Let's just be. A lot of black people are taught. A lot of black men are taught that white men are weak. Right, we're easy to punk sometimes.
I've actually never been. I've heard you say that one time on your show. I thought that was interesting. I actually have never met any black men that have been taught that. Interestingly enough,
okay.
I think that may be like a thing because you know, among a lot of black guys, they kind of are taught, or maybe it's not even taught, conditioned to be tough, be hard. You know, and white guys aren't. So
that's true.
Like, cause I feel like white people are more comfortable in their own skin. Like if he's not like a tough guy, he's not gonna try to be one, you know?
Yeah.
So I think a lot of guys who try to put on that tough guy bravado kind of interpret that as, oh, he's a pussy. You know, I've never been taught that though, like explicitly.
Okay. Yeah, it could just be with a Hodge one said like, yeah, we used to call it white boy punk, and we're like, we take their sneakers, their Sega Genesis, and take it all. Just, you know, they were talking
I do see that. I ain't gonna lie, I do see that a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you think this gets better? So we were just covering not too long ago, Killer Mike on the show, which, by the way, if you want to be ambassador for any community, having Killer as the first name doesn't help.
Yeah.
But the shit he was saying about Asian Americans.
I just saw that. I literally just saw how, we can't mess with y'all because of the Rick Child situation, da-da-da-da. It's interesting, though, because I actually saw a clip of the lawyer who represented Rick Child, black guy. He was like, I knew within a minute, I could get Rick Chow off. He was like, don't bullshit with me. Tell me what happened.
Yeah.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. And he got him off. And it's interesting because these same people are looking at that case and they're like, oh, like he chased a kid out of the store, which I don't really agree with them chasing the dude out of the store.
Right.
But it's like, why does a 14-year-old kid have a gun? You know, that to me is a question that is gone unanswered. And then you look at the jury, 5 black people let him walk. So you're telling me that a black lawyer represented this guy. You got 5 black people, men and women, on the jury, and they all let him walk. And you're mad at the outcome, but we're not looking at the circumstance. Now, again, I don't agree with them chasing him out of the store.
No, I
which was
understand.
crazy, especially when you watch the footage. Like, he put everything back. They're like, empty your pockets. He didn't empty his pockets because he had a freaking gun in his pocket. So
Yeah.
it's like, this is just a recipe for disaster.
Yo, what up, fam? It's your boy D-Day, and we out here. Know what I'm saying? Out here on the block, holding it down. Brah, brah, yeah. We about to have a good day, fam.
Dang it, Daryl! What the hell are you doing out there?
Shut up, Dad! I'm doing something out here. So yeah, anyway, you know we about to have a good day, right? Yeah, we finna be like Ice Cube, you feel me? No barking from the dog, no smog. Mama made the breakfast with no hog.
Daryl, did you eat all the bacon?
It's a song, Dad! You're ruining my TikTok video. God damn, Pop's always tripping, man.
If you want to make your stupid TikTok videos, get your own darn house. You're 29 years old, for crying out loud.
What I'm supposed to do, Dad? Huh? What I'm supposed to do? Just snap my fingers like Kazam and then poof, a crib appears?
Just call American Financing. They've helped thousands of Americans, and they can help you too.
You gonna need some help when I leave you bleeding on the sidewalk?
Boy, what did you just say to me?
Nothing! I didn't say nothing!
Call the pros at American Financing today at 1-800-974-6500 or visit www.americanfinancing.net/Crowder. NMLS 182334. If you start today, you may even delay up to 2 mortgage payments.
That's one where I go, okay, that's an unfortunate situation from a shopkeeper who's obviously been strong-armed and robbed quite a bit.
Quite a bit.
His patience has run out. The kid has his hands in his pockets. So as far as he knows, like, that's a trick, right? I have nothing in my pockets. Well, you're not emptying your pockets. Chased him, gun turner. I mean, I don't know if you know, but Chow actually was trying to save him by sucking the vomit out of his mouth, performing mouth to mouth.
Really?
Yeah. He literally, like, he was on the phone with the ambulance, or his son was, while he was performing mouth to mouth, and he was actually sucking the vomit out of his mouth to try and get him air. Like, that's not someone who's a cold-blooded killer. That's someone who probably got scared, shot. And like you said, if you look at the facts of the case, you look at the jury, but it doesn't matter. And this is the thing with someone like a Killer Mike, where he then uses that to translate, and he says, you know, we don't fuck with y'all, and you, which by the way is such a stupid way of speaking. Like, fuck with somebody used to mean to mess with them. And now it's like, now it means like, oh, fuck with Coca-Cola. I'm like, this is just, words mean something.
Yeah.
But, and then he tries to say that Asians think they're above blacks, and that Asians take advantage of the black community because they won't open up shop in a, you know, the real master class neighborhood. It's just not true. Asian business, they make up a lot of business owners.
Oh, yeah.
And they predominantly open up in white suburban areas, restaurants, nail salons. This is not true.
Yeah,
We're not taking advantage of the black community.
Yeah, no. So my tattoo artist is an Asian guy in Houston, and he's in A-Leaf, which is a notoriously low-income, dangerous neighborhood. And he's a cool dude, man. Like, he's always been cool to me. We have good conversation, talk about his family and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, we have a good relationship. So it's interesting to me how people act like that Asian people just hate black people. I've never experienced that. Now, I do understand that they probably are cautious.
Yes.
But which makes sense to me. I mean,
But I'm cautious.
well, I'm cautious too.
You know,
I don't carry. I didn't get my CCL and carry a gun and go in an Asian neighborhood. I'm toting my gun. When I go in a rough neighborhood, I'm looking around. There's people hanging outside of stores. I'm putting that shit on my waist, bro. Like, I'm coming out. I'm going home tonight.
No,
you know what
I
I'm
get
saying?
it. Yeah.
So it's like, I can understand. I can understand. You know, you don't know how this is gonna go. You walk in places, people are staring at you. They're like just eyeballing you. They're mugging you. It's like, you know, I kind of understand, and that they're opening up businesses in these areas. Obviously, like, their perception may be warped.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is, that's also why I wanted to have you guys on, because you're not necessarily political activists. I know you address it biblically, kind of more culturally, but and I appreciate, you guys watched the barbershop installment that I had done, and I think you were very fair-minded about it. I think you guys get it. Like, when the term black fatigue is a term coined, but it just means that not all But at a certain point, things have gotten worse since the 90s. Like I will tell you, I grew up in a as close to a post-racial America. We didn't think most recognizable faces, Michael Jordan, Mike Tyson, Michael Jackson. So I'm like, you guys got 2.5 basically. But, and then that switched to Will Smith, right? Most beloved actor was Denzel Washington. The shows, Fresh Prince, Urkel. Like we grew up and it was just something where if you watched black television, it was very similar to white television.
Yeah, it was a lot back then. And then the representation was a lot better back then. You got like you said, Urkel, Family Matters. You got the strong black dad and the family dynamic. Yeah, he was a cop. You got the family dynamic. Even with Fresh Prince and the Wayans Bros, Jamie Foxx show, you've got all these good representations of like black people, just being normal people. You know, they weren't tough. They were just regular people going through life. And it's like, I guess the perception has changed because now you've got shows like Baddies where it's predominantly black women that are just straight up aggressive. It's trash.
It's bad.
I can't watch that.
It's
crap.
awful.
I don't even know what show. Where does it run?
You'll never see it.
It runs
Don't worry.
There you go. Network. Everything that comes out of there is toxic, in my personal opinion.
What's the network?
Zeus.
Yeah.
Zeus?
No.
Oh.
Every now and then I stumble across like a really low budget black film on Tubi. And I'm like, I've heard of people being out of touch with black culture, but this is ridiculous. Like, there was one where the woman shoots the other black, I guess, whore, like lover, and then the child. And I'm like, this is just in a movie?
Yeah, no, Tubi's ridiculous. I think that's kind of the idea behind it. It's like low budget films. That's like the whole appeal. But like, I don't know. I just think the representation of black people in media has completely changed. And a lot of people are influenced by that and they drift towards that dynamic. Well, I don't say drift towards that dynamic. And that's kind of what they are, you know?
Yeah. I think two things for me, like the music, you know, like black people will listen to rap all the time, right? Where they talk about crazy things that really happen in real life.
Let's not say rap. Let's say drill music.
No, I'm gonna say rap. I'm gonna say rap. It's all rap. It's all rap.
Keep it broad.
And like, they're not offended at all, right?
Yeah.
But then one joke offends you really bad, but then like another black person killing other black people does not offend you. It's free him, it's he's oppressed and all these things. And then the other thing I think is like, for me, when I really noticed that I feel like the division was happening was with the Colin Kaepernick stuff. That was when I first began to like pay attention to like racial tension and things, because I was I think a freshman in college. And this is like before I was like, had anything to do with politics or anything at all. And I don't really know what was going on. So I'm just seeing like, okay, all these black people are taking a knee for the, national anthem and things because of police brutality and stuff. So I actually it was my freshman year and I was starting to like write papers and stuff. So I was like trying to write a paper about police brutality to black people. And as I was doing it, I was realizing like, it's kind of a reach. Like, I don't feel like I can't really give a story to where, I agree with this. And then I just felt like at that time, if you didn't take a knee or condone that, then you weren't black.
Well, sorry, go ahead, yes.
I was going to say, around that time, I feel exactly how you feel, because I remember I wasn't trying to stand up for the flag. And then I was thinking around the time, my mama used to work with the Wounded Warrior soldiers in the military. So I seen soldiers that literally gave up their life for me. And I used to like sit in my room and feel bad about myself, because I was like, wow, I actually met soldiers that lost limbs, arms, and legs. And I was like, I'm trying to diss the flag, but I really saw people that fought for our freedom. Like literally witnessed these people in life. No legs, no arms, messed up in the head.
Yep.
I used to be like, I used to look bad on myself, because I was like, wow, I know better than this because I seen better.
Right.
Yeah.
And plenty of black people too fought for the freedom. I mean, my
grandpa, he's in the Veterans Hall of Fame in Oklahoma. Purple Heart and everything, World War II.
I would say thank him for his service. I assume he's not with us anymore.
No, he's not. He's passed.
I mean, Joe Louis is the perfect example of a black man in America who was done dirty by the government, where you can literally prove it. Joe Louis, greatest heavyweight boxer of all time, as far as record. People don't realize he had like 26 defenses. He was beloved by Americans, by the way. He was sent up to fight Max Schmeling, which was Hitler's guy. He was like the Jesse Owens, but it was way bigger. The biggest sporting event in history. He has to fight the only guy who ever beat him. And if he loses, that means the Nazis are right. And he's going into, they said the front lines, but he ended up doing exhibition fights for the troops. And so he won, galvanized America. Then he did all these fights for the troops, and he also did coaching. And he gave all of his money for the exhibition fights to the Army, Navy surplus fund.
Okay.
Well, then Uncle Sam came and said, hey, you have a tax bill of whatever it was back then, like $700,000, which adjusted for inflation is millions. He's like, I gave all my, I did these fights for you, for the military, and here you go. You got to pay it. And that's why I had to come back out of retirement, fight Rocky Marciano, ended up getting CTE. So that's a perfect example, but it wasn't a racial thing. It was you're discarded by the government because they want their money thing. It's really an overreaching government thing, and no one really talks about it. And then Muhammad Ali called him an Uncle Tom and all this shit.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
He said he was, a house N-word, and then same thing called Joe Frazier, a big, dumb, ugly gorilla, because he was blacker than him, and then he apologized for it later on. But this race baiting has been going on for a long time.
Was this around the time when Muhammad was supposed to go supposed to go to war overseas?
So no, and that's actually funny too. He refused to serve because he was against the war, and while that was happening and his case was going to the Supreme Court, Joe Frazier gave him money. And he said, Joe Frazier, big, dumb, ugly gorilla. Ain't he ugly? Don't you want a pretty champion? Look at him. He's so dark. Like, it's the most racist shit you can imagine. And Joe Frazier hated him till the day he died because the black community called him an Uncle Tom when really Muhammad Ali left. And he lived in a white area, and Joe Frazier was living in Philly, in the hood.
It's interesting how you can do these things, and it's just like people just skip over like the ramifications of it. Like you're dissing someone else who is in the same field as you, really may have, you could even say, paved the way for people like you, and you just tear them down. But in the fight space, things like that are to sell.
Yeah.
So I could probably chalk that up to that, but I don't know.
But he was held out. We did a whole special. He was held out as a hero, Muhammad Ali. What they don't tell you is he endorsed Ronald Reagan and campaigned for Orrin Hatch, the crazy white conservative Mormon. And he said, I was wrong about all the stuff when I was younger, the racism. He said, Ronald Reagan believes in God. That's good enough for me. We need more God in this country. So they paint the civil rights icon, which is when he was young and cheating and philandering, right, in Nation of Islam. And they ignore the second half of his life, which was the redemption, where he actually, started finding common ground, was very good friends with Donald Trump, actually, presented Trump with an award. And no one knows this about him.
Speaking of boxers and Trump, did you see the backlash Terrence Crawford got for just taking a picture with Trump?
I didn't see how far it went. Was it really bad?
Oh, it's horrible.
It's insane.
Oh, it's so horrible.
Insane. It's like okay, a sitting president comes up to you, hey, I'm a fan of you. I like what you're doing. Obviously, Trump's a boxing fan. It's historically documented.
Of course.
And now just off the picture alone, people are like, oh, you're a sellout, you're a coon. There's a quote he had that went viral. He was on the Pivot podcast speaking with some NFL guys, and Channing Crowder was like, oh, $15 million, you can have my soul. He was like, now we know your character. Now people are ripping Terrence Crawford like, oh, now we know your character because you took a picture with Trump. It's like, come on, bro.
Also, not only is Trump a boxing fan, do we all have to act like we dreamt the fact that all these hip hop artists would quote, reference Donald Trump all the fucking time? And Donald Trump was never seen as a racist. He was seen as an icon. He was involved in Arsenio Hall won the first Celebrity Apprentice. Only when he ran as a Republican did all of a sudden he become a racist. Rappers loved Trump. Constantly.
Yeah, they was talking about being in the Trump Hotel back in the day.
I know.
That's why
we have to act like, oh yeah, no, you're right. We've all, and now that guy is seen as an uncle. And this is the problem, right? This is where when people talk about fatigue, it's like, it feels like, I've described it this way. It's not genuine. People walking backwards, laying down landmines. Only now there's no more land, it's just mines. Where it's like, oh, so we used to be able to find common ground, say, okay, this is wrong, racism was wrong, okay, this type of behavior is wrong, there are some white racists out there, but now they're going, wait a second, you like Trump, you're a racist. It's like, but you liked Trump. You were okay with him 5 years ago, and it just doesn't feel genuine. It feels like a catch, like a gotcha.
100%.
Yeah. I just think the whole liking Trump thing, it's like I wouldn't even say like I have to like him. He's the president. I want him to do a good job. He's leading our country.
Right.
I would say my political philosophy is more like I want America to be in the best place because this is where we live. I want the citizens to have the best opportunity, and I want us to be good. I want everything to be in our favor as citizens. So based on the election stuff through the election, I thought Trump was the best option based on that philosophy alone. Now,
Kamala Harris didn't speak to you as a Black American man.
Man, the whole
tell him about the Fox News. He clipped us on YouTube because he called Kamala the B word. They put it on Fox News.
My God.
I called her a bitch and put it on a poster.
And it wasn't even like I was calling her a bitch directly. Like she, everyone who watches politics and you follow it, she kind of danced around questions. She was getting softball interviews, same thing over and over and over. And it was to the point where I was like, okay, answer the question. Answer the question. I was like, answer the question, bitch.
Yeah.
And they put it on Fox. completely out of context, and I was
Well, like Fox was trashing you?
No, they were rocking with
they
it.
were
Yeah, it was rocking with
What
us.
was the show it was on?
It was on
Gutfeld?
yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa,
You know, we got suspended from YouTube because we had a Kamala blow-up doll
wow.
where she was banging the Statue of Liberty.
Where the hell did you get that?
Well, we had a blow-up doll, and let's be honest, any generic white doll works fine for Kamala Harris. You just put on the right wig and a purple pantsuit, and I stand by. I was like, no, she's a whore. Now, what I mean by whore is she got ahead in her career by sleeping with people, not qualifications, and I don't want my daughter thinking that that's a good role model. She sold herself sexually for political gain. Whore.
Who was that mayor she was with?
Oh, it was San Francisco. Willie.
Willie Brown, is that it?
Yeah, I think it was Willie
his
Brown.
name?
By the way, she was one of many. He was sleeping with a lot of bitches.
Yeah.
Like even when they asked me, he didn't even deny it. They were like, "Were you sleeping with Kamala Harris?" She's like, "Sounds like something I do." Like pretty much. You were just like, I don't know. I had a lot of bitches.
Yeah, no, the whole Kamala thing in the election, I just think they played into the fact that she has a black parent. Obviously, if you look into her history, she was raised more by her Indian mother.
Of course.
So to me, it's like, okay, you're pushing this black woman that was raised by her Indian mother, and their more so focal point is that she went to an HBCU, she's in a predominantly black sorority.
Yeah.
And that's like her whole selling point to Black America. And it's like, oh, so you're a black man, you don't support the black woman? It's like,
See,
it's ridiculous to me.
but it's so much deeper than race to me for president, because whenever Kamala went on The View, right, no one was happy under the Biden administration. Black people, white people, left, right, everyone agreed that, okay, Joe Biden is not fit to be president. He is not doing well. Right. And so they asked Kamala, they said, what are you going to do different than Joe Biden? And she said, nothing. So if you're not going to do anything different than the guy that no one is happy with, why would I vote for you? Why would anyone vote for you? If you told me,
Yeah.
you're going to do the same thing.
I
We don't
completely
want the
agree.
same thing done.
I completely
So
agree.
I don't care what race you
I
are.
feel like that was a lot of black guys, at least. Like most of I didn't meet any black guys who were enthusiastic about Kamala Harris.
No.
I met some.
Some, but it wasn't like Barack Obama.
On paper, Kamala is a good candidate. Sure, if we're looking at paper, but we're looking at the physical presentation she's putting out there. She won't separate herself from Biden. She's basically saying, I'm going to continue what he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Borders wide open. Things are not going great. She's talking about supporting this war in Ukraine. And it's like, why are we doing that? Like,
Yeah.
it's like, why do our tax dollars go to that?
Right.
It's like, I don't know. To me, it's like, I just don't think, based on what she was presenting, that this was the best choice.
No.
And especially as a young man coming out of college, I mean, I don't know. I wasn't sold.
What really threw me off was when they had Megan Thee Stallion on stage throwing ass in front of the world.
That was her
so it's just like
introduction.
when you really look at this, like, wow, you finna be the president and you just
Let's go to that.
it's just
Because I don't want to get but yes, go ahead. Sir.
Okay, so I want to piggyback off that point. Megan Thee Stallion, very successful artist. A lot of her music, like most female artists, is about sex, women stuff, things that girls get behind.
Well, hold on a second. There's songs about sex. You know, there's like Lionel Richie, All Night Long, Afternoon Delight. And then there's Wet Ass Pussy.
Yeah.
This is our wedding song.
Yeah,
It's two levels to it.
To me, it's like okay. So you have someone like Megan Thee Stallion, right? She's a college educated woman. She went to Texas Southern. It's like I feel like if you're trying to pander to a base, right?
Yeah.
Rather than have her come perform and shake butt for what she's known for, why not use her intellectual background to have her speak to voters? She's educated. She went to school. She's not an idiot, So, I mean, I'd rather be like, hey, why do you support Kamala? That's a better candidate for a better representation or a better message to me. You got her coming out with dancers shaking ass to this. I don't know. I guess it's a rally. I guess to me, it's just ridiculous. And then it's like,
See, but to me,
But you see how yes, go ahead.
Sorry,
you see how white people perceive it. In other words,
Right.
like when people say, "Oh, it's not black enough." Like, okay, you go to the Temptations, you go to the Supremes, you go to Diana Ross, Aretha Franklin, right? Like all this stuff where it was great music. I mean, from Benton Harbor, my dad's from Detroit, right? Motown. In other words, we objectively, and you can even go back further. You go to Johnny Mathis, you could go, Nat King Cole, and then. It's like, but that would be considered too white today. And white people go, wait, hold on a second, wet ass pussy. Like, this is awful. And this is at a potential presidential rally.
Yeah.
These are two very different cultures.
yes. Okay. Well, I'm gonna break it down for you. Like you're referencing this culture of when we as black people we're presented with more respect. You know, people coming in suits, they're more professional. That representation is gone. Like that's not what we have in the entertainment space today. That's not what sells. Like if you look at rap music now, it's about women's rap music is about sex, pussy, all these things, being the baddest bitch.
Murder.
Yes,
Men's about murder. So that representation is gone, man. So it's like when we reference these points, it's like who's making music now?
So
that
our
presents that?
perception, our perception of Will Smith was that he liked the ladies, and he also was a fan of Miami, perhaps getting jiggy with it.
Yeah.
But the point is, like we watch, we're like, okay, now white people just don't blame white people. They go, well, hold on a second, you're a black guy. You might be a big fan of murder, because I always hear black guys in music sing about murder. Yeah. Oh, you're a black lady? You might be a slut because I always hear black ladies singing about being sluts. It doesn't mean all, but like you said, if it's what sells, and then at a certain point, white people feel like, well, wait, I'm allowed to say, I don't want that around my kids. I don't want to raise, that's a bad culture. And then black people go, well, it's our culture. And so then white people now are going, well, if it is, then I guess we kind of need a divorce. That's what black fatigue is.
I wouldn't even say it's our culture. I'll
I'll
say that's the subculture.
No, but it is black culture. Bro. Keeping
but
it
that
real.
is the mainstream black
That is
culture.
100%.
Yeah, that is true.
It's mainstream black
I think that is 100% black culture. Rap, you think about rap, music is like the peak what shows what the culture is. And it is so derogatory, so bad. Like, whenever a rapper makes a song about murdering someone, and it's not like a pretend thing, like
Yeah,
they
this is really going
are
on.
really doing it in real life.
Graves,
And then,
all type of
but we scream Black Lives Matter in the same breath, but then these people are killing and glorifying killing, and that's not a problem, you know? But you're offended if someone makes one joke or says the trigger word,
Yeah.
you know?
And it's one thing, like, it's okay. In other words, I get that art, not everything is true. Like Alice Cooper, you know, he'd be decapitated on, or Marilyn Manson, or, you know, you listen to metal, I don't think that Ronnie James Dio was slaying an actual dragon. Like, I get it. But when it's all of the biggest hits and the artists, and it's continuous and it's thrust, and then you're blamed saying, well, I don't really think that's a good culture to have. It's like, well, then what are you, racist? That's where white people are going, I guess so. If I don't want that blasting.
But then they call us not black if we don't rock with that.
So
you know?
you guys must get it, right? Like it's exhausting.
It
To
is.
me, it's just like rather, I just think the representation is a problem. Like these are the people, and then when I say representation is the problem, I mean like this is what you're putting out to the world, right? This derogatory music, this music that paints you in a negative light. And these entertainers are the spokesperson for our community. These are who the kids want to be. This is who people look up to. This to them is success. So it's like, to me, I'm like, there's so much more than that. Like we've got actors who are better representations. We've got actual politicians and people doing things that are better representations of that. But it's like like before we started, we talked about Ben Carson. Like this guy came from
Detroit,
a destitute situation, single mom, and he's one of the most successful, most educated black people to ever live in America, easily. What did he do? The first conjoined surgery of all
twins,
time?
yeah.
Like what?
Yeah.
That's unheard of. And it's like he's painted as a bad guy because he's Republican. It's like at what point do we cling on to things that are positive representations for what you can accomplish in America, what you can be, rather than let these entertainers who paint us in a negative light?
But that's my
be
question,
the
though.
Spokesperson.
Because why? Like, in other words, we can, but I don't think it's the entertainers, because there's enough of a market where that is what speaks and what sells. And then what happens is you marry it up with, as I know you guys have discussed, crime statistics. As you know, you look at interracial crime, it's just not even close. And literacy rates and fatherless households. And then you see it, you're like, well, is this the major market? In other words, are these entertainers responding to a market, or are the entertainers creating the market? But I will tell you, it's definitively worse than when I grew up in the 90s.
Oh, it's definitely worse.
yeah.
It's definitely worse. To me, the biggest thing to me as a young man is the fatherless homes. I mean, a home without a father is the biggest problem. Men need fathers. Women can't raise young men. That's just a fact. And it's not a dig on women's ability. It's just that a young man needs a male figure to try to be like.
Men can raise women because they can protect them from predators. Women can't raise young men because they don't know how to teach them to be bridled predators. It's just, they can't do it.
Right. And it's you take the father out of the home, and what do these young boys have to turn to? Like they see their mom working hard. She can't get ahead. She's doing all these jobs. and there's no dad there to steward this young man. And it's like, what do they turn to? They turn to this culture, the entertainers, the streets, these negative things. And that's why you got all these young men walking around angry, committing crimes.
Yeah.
There's no dad there.
No one's there to whoop them, you know?
Oh,
I think
man.
a young man needs to be whooped.
Oh,
that's the only way you'll listen.
Yeah, but they do get plenty. I mean, I watched a black lady whoop like her 6-year-old on
That's
the
true.
subway.
That's
and that
true.
was a
That's
little
not-
sort of
yeah,
like,
that's
you could
not-
see
yeah.
the hate
Yeah.
growing in his eyes. And I was like,
Yeah.
don't look at me. Don't copy paste this to the white guy like she's the one beating you. But you need to explain it. They need to be disciplined.
Right.
And we know Lyndon Johnson, right? Model cities. We go back. It systematically destroyed the black family, but it wasn't the only community that it was offered to. In other words, it's been rejected by other minority communities. Like we just went through Killer Mike and Asian Americans. Like I don't know if you know this, but the income rates and the poverty they didn't have Asian Americans back in the sort of civil rights era, like 60s. They had Filipino. That was a demographic they studied for some reason, but the broad strokes Asian. So black Americans, Filipino, the exact same income disparity with white Americans, about 40% less income.
Wow.
Now Filipino Americans, I think it's like 20-something% more than the average white American salary. Black Americans, still 40% less. So they started at the same point. And then we have to ask why. And the problem is if a white American goes, okay, well now I think we're at the point where what you're saying right now. If I say fatherless households, you know what? You see at the barbershop, they go, oh, that's like a racist trope. It's like,
But it's a fact, though.
All right.
See, but the thing is, the thing that people use to justify, which I've seen, is they're like, okay, we're not married, but I'm still in my child's life. It's like, okay, cool, whatever. But we have to look at the fact that there are a lot of men who are not in their child's life. And like, it even goes, you have to go back a few years, like the war on drugs. You know, when drugs were introduced to the black community, some of these boys' fathers were selling drugs. They got taken away. They're gone. Now you've got a mom who has to work and put food on the table and be a mother, and she has to make up for the father not being there. So she's working all these jobs. The kids are at home under whatever supervision. I can't speak to that, but you know,
can I real talk? Because I feel like we have this report. Let's be honest. A lot of those moms don't work.
right?
And that's a problem too. A lot of them don't work and they have more kids because they collect checks and they specifically don't want to get married.
Sure.
And this is one thing when I spoke with black men, they said, you know, a lot of us actually would like to be involved, but the problem is the women don't want us involved because they get checks. So I realize it's not all the dads are deadbeats.
Yeah,
it comes from both sides.
No, and that's very true. But it's like, if I take it back to me, when I look at the broad stroke of everything, where did the problem go? You got all the drugs were introduced to these low income black communities. The black men saw that this was a good way to make a lot of money real quick. They cracked down. They put these men in jail forever. Now you got a kid who has no dad. His mom's working. What's he gonna turn to? The streets. He's gonna try to make that fast money. That's where the gang culture blew up. That's where the violence really boomed.
See, but my question is, why did that only affect the black community? It seems
because it hit the black community the hardest.
That's what I'm saying. Drugs were introduced to America.
Yeah,
they didn't just go to the black people only. They were going to tell it to anybody who would buy it.
Well, the way that it's taught or it's brought, it's like, oh, it specifically dropped it in the black community.
I don't believe that. To me, that I just don't believe. I'm not going to give that excuse to me because everyone.
That's what I was going to say, but you said it, so it's not racist.
Yeah, you see, okay.
Like look at you know, this is how you get rooftop Koreans. You think in South Central LA, you don't think those Koreans had a chance to deal drugs?
Yeah.
What happens is the black people are like these Koreans are uppity. They're not talking to us because they want their kids to get ahead, and instead they're shooting the drug addicts from the top of their shops because it's being burned down.
Yeah, that's why I just don't understand why is it the drugs were planted in the black community, everything to the black community. Like, I just don't see why. That to me, that's an excuse to me.
Yeah,
I don't know. I guess I just see things.
Sell it.
No, you didn't have to sell. You didn't have to sell it to your people. You know, the white people had the same chance.
Fist, 9-gram rocks, and
it just doesn't. I'm not gonna give them that excuse. I'm sorry. I'm really not. I'm not. I think I see things a bit differently just because my family came from Africa, so I wasn't really raised in like this black culture. White people hate you. You know, look what the white man did to us and all that. Like, that's why I would never complain. In Ghana. Oh, so my dad moved from Ghana.
Yeah.
And my grandpa, he moved when he was like probably 5 years old. And my grandpa did like his story of how he got his whole family here is amazing. So it's like, why would I complain? Why would I go do these things and shit on what you did for me? Yeah. You know? Like, why? My grandpa, he's never said the word racist in his life, and he moved here in like 1950.
That's been my experience with more African migrants,
and it is,
yes. And also Cuban black,
and that's why
a lot of view themselves as really like black. They're just Cuban, and they think that black Americans are the most entitled group in the world.
No, they do. That's why a lot of Africans and black people don't really get along that well because of that very reason. Like, people will tell me, "Oh, well, you know, your dad's from Ghana, so you're not black." I'm like, okay, well, that's fine. I don't care. I'm just saying, like
what?
my grandpa.
I'm all black
Who
I'm
handed
from the actual the homeland where you guys talk about.
That's what I'm saying. Like all my grandpa's children, my dad's brothers and sisters, they're all super successful because they were not. I think it's just like the victim mentality. Even like, well, you know, we're poor because of the war on drugs. No. I think it's like the very first question you ask, like with the Filipinos and the blacks, it boils down to culture. The things we accept, the things we do not call out. You know, if you go like us and call out bad behavior from the black community, black fatigue, if you call it that, oh, well, you're wrong. Well, I don't care. I don't
think it's
condone
as simple
this.
as this, and this will someone, if we weren't having an authentic conversation, would say this is racist. I think that African migrants coming here, the naivete that they don't know that there's a crutch they can use.
Yeah.
They're coming here from poverty, like, I better make it.
Yeah.
They're not, no one said like, hey, you could just say that drugs destroyed your community. Like, what? I actually have a family that I'm bringing over to support.
Yes.
You know, so it's much more similar to Filipino Americans,
Yes.
Korean Americans, Japanese Americans, people leaving, you know, Cuban Americans. They're fleeing persecution. They're fleeing poverty.
Yes.
They're not looking for a crutch. They're looking for opportunity. Whereas here in the United States, and it's not all. But
it's
we
a
are at
lot.
a point where it's
No,
too
it is
much.
a lot. It is a lot. It's too much. So I'm not like Brock. You know, my parents are from America. You know, when I grew up, my parents taught me you got to work hard. You got to focus on your education, and they taught me you got to be twice as good. That I'm sure everyone heard that. You got to be twice as good as everyone else because you're black, and that's just how I was raised. I got to go hard. You know, so I went to college. I have a master's degree. My mom's a lawyer. My dad is a professor. All advanced educated. Like I told you before, my dad's side of the family, all educators. Like that's just like that side of the family. Even his brother, professor, and his oldest brother's a pastor. And his daughter just graduated doctoral school. She's an MD. She's an actual doctor. She's a pharmacist. So on my dad's side, like we're big on education, like big family unit. I didn't have any riffraff in my family directly. Like nobody was thugging in the streets, none of that. And on my mom's side, my mom is
your family's culture.
Yeah, and on my mom's side, my mom was adopted. I didn't learn that till later in life. I was surprised to learn that. But my mom was adopted. Her dad, my grandpa, wasn't really in her life, and my mom still made it. Like she went to school, Oklahoma State, graduated in finance. Then she put herself through law school. They had my brother, and she graduated, and they lived in Kansas for a little bit. And my dad was working in Oklahoma, and they made it work. You know, they moved to Kansas. They made it work. So like I never had like riffraff or like any bad examples around me. Like so I guess it really just boils down to.
Why aren't there enough of people like you in this room speaking out? Because that's what's going to need to happen, right? Because it's kind of like with feminists, like no uterus, no opinion. It's like, okay, so I can't talk about it. As a white man, we're not allowed. It's like, well, you don't understand. But there aren't enough people with your perspective where that's what's needed for a paradigm shift in the culture. I mean, you talk about the barbershop thing. I will tell you, that was a turning point in my life because this was a barbershop. I've done black and white and the gray issues many times. I've also done change my mind. So I've sat down with, there was one girl who supported affirmative action. She was at UT. And I remember it broke my heart. She said, well, without affirmative action, I wouldn't be here. I said, well, what are your SATs? And they were very, impressive, or GPA. I said, that's so sad to me that you think you needed affirmative action to, like, you're qualified. You should be here. And you could see it was the first time anyone had told her that. So I've had these conversations, and that's what inspired Black and White and the Gray. Just go into a black area and talk with people. I did it with this barbershop, established a good rapport. I knew they understood that I was acting in good faith. And when I went back, the moment it changed was not changed. And what I mean is,
your mind switched.
I just was like, okay, there's a huge percentage of black Americans who have no interest in being convinced. Where I said, well, wait a second.
Oh, for sure.
I said, what if there was video footage of Donald Trump? Because they were saying, praise white supremacists. I said, what if there was video footage that I could show of Donald Trump saying, I'm not saying white supremacists or neo-Nazis who I'm condemning totally, okay? What if they go, well, I ain't seen it. And I realized, I was like gonna go to my phone, and I realized, you know what? It wouldn't fucking matter.
It wouldn't matter.
They would just move the goalposts, and
matter.
that was when the fatigue you can see on my face. I'm like, this doesn't matter. So if you're gonna label him a white supremacist, it's the clearest example of him saying, I'm not saying neo-Nazis and white supremacists, then none of us have a shot.
That's true. I was going to say, for me, it's kind of hard to like give people excuses because you know what Ben Harvard looked like. My mama came from Ben Harvard, didn't have a daddy, none of that. And I witnessed her have her own company building in the military. She was a company commander. So it's like, to me, it's like, if she able to do it, my auntie got her master's degree. Why can I not do it?
Yeah.
And they had less than me. They had way more less than I had.
Oh man, and I love that point you had. Our ancestors, our older generation had less opportunity. Like, really break this down. This is a question I see when I see people say, "Oh, I hate America. America's bad." Da da da. Where else in the world are Black people exposed to this much opportunity to have this much success? Where? And then the response to that is, well, not everybody. It's like, well, not everybody's taking advantage.
Right.
It's like if you look at these Black scholarships that are offered at university, it's the Black immigrants that are taking advantage of it.
Right.
I remember when I was in grad school in Louisiana, they came to I was a GA.
By the way, if you want to need a relight it, I can see it's kind of going out.
Oh yeah, I was waiting on.
Keep that lighter with you.
So when I was in college and grad school in Louisiana, when I started doing YouTube with the guys, when I remember there was a point when I was in my office and a lady came in, she was like, "You guys applying for scholarships?" And I was like, I didn't even know there was a thing, but we go to school for free. I was like, but we're GAs, like we don't really need it. She's like, yeah, but there's Black scholarship money that just sits there. If you just apply, you're going to get it. No one takes this money. I remember I was working as a GA, you work with the head of the department. I'm listening to them talk about how there's just money just sitting. No one takes advantage of this money. It's like, there's so much opportunity out there. You just have to go
And I don't
find
think that
it.
money should be there.
Man.
I mean, when you say this, the other thing too is when you say you have to work twice as hard. No, you don't. You don't. That's why there's a Supreme Court case where Asians had to have higher SATs, higher GPAs than Black Americans, and there were too many Asians in college. So they said, you know what? We're going to force you guys to outperform Black Americans, and let's just play. And you know what happens? The dropout rate in college for Black Americans is much higher. They get left behind because they're put in programs where they shouldn't be because we've tried to create equity rather than equal opportunity.
Yeah.
And you know what happens? Animosity comes from the Asian community because their kid worked their ass off and they're not getting in and they see a Black, and like, you'd feel the same way too, right?
Yeah.
If you go, wait a second, this guy Dat Fung is getting in. I know that he got 100 points lower on his SAT and his GPA was 2 points lower and he's there because there aren't enough Asians. You'd be pissed too.
That's racism. That's
actual racism.
That is real racism to me. And I think everything to me boils down to culture. Why are Asians good in school? Their culture.
Facts.
Why are Black people doing the things it's the culture, and we don't condone it. And like you said, that's why I actually feel very passionate about what we do, because I think that's the only way to change it. We have to make like thugging and all the things, the negative connotations that Black people do, we have to make that uncool. Or like right now, it's like, if you're not doing those things, you're not Black. We have been banished from the Black community.
Really?
Because,
Online.
Yes, because
Online.
real
not
world.
They're
person.
going public.
I was like, you guys are legit Black. You're not. Well, hey, fellow Black friend.
No. But like it's only online. Like in the real world, I'm in a predominantly Black fraternity. My dad was in it. I'm still in it. I get love. I serve at a Black church. No one has a problem. Like, this is only online. So to me, it's like when I see this stuff, I'm like, in the real world, no one gives a shit. No one cares. And I have conversations with people, and I'll sit and tell them like, yeah, I just think differently. And they're not attacking me. They're not, none of that. Like, sometimes I might get like a skeptical look, like, oh, why do you think that way? It's like, because I just do, bro. Like, it's just what I think. Like, it is what it is. And it's like, we'll have a conversation. I'll tell them why I think differently. They're like, well, I just don't think that. I don't think that. All right, I don't care.
Yeah.
Boom, we move on. It's not the end of the world. You know what I'm saying?
How do we fix it? Like, here's the thing.
I don't think there's no way to fix it.
That's kind of where I am too. I'm becoming hopeless on this front because, you know, people talk about social media. Like, there's no, for example, like Johnny Carson, where 30 million Americans watch it anymore. Like, you know, everything's fragmented because of digital music and people listen to their own podcasts. So people kind of silo themselves. Add the racial component to that, and add the component that if someone who is an outsider from your niche, from your demographic, if you make it so that they cannot voice some kind of critical thought, I don't see any way to improve it. And I will tell you, just what we see as the vernacular, the music, it's so much definitively worse, where you are seeing white Americans going, you know, I've tried, but like, we used to say, well, don't quote the empirical data on crime statistics or on poverty because, you know, that doesn't show the whole picture. But then you can only have so many individual interactions that are negative too before you go, not all, but like, we have to step this one out until enough Black people step in and fix it, because we can.
And that's the only thing that I think will do it. Because if a white person says it, they're labeled as racist. And even if a Black person says it, well, they're whitewashed. You know? Even if it's from someone who is, you know, it's so.
So then how do you fix it?
It's
racist, coon. So
God, that's the
only
only
thing.
answer I
That's
can
the
say
only
is
thing.
God.
It's interesting to me because
to turn Megan Thee Stallion into a pillar of salt.
it's interesting to me because I used to believe that there was still a chance we could turn this around. We should turn this around. And it's like, we don't get on there and bash negatively of like educated black people. We may disagree with what they're saying and talk about what they're saying, and we'll be like, why are you peddling this as like this is just the answer, the end all be all? And it's like, to us, it's like, I'm not trying to sit around and listen to people tell other black people you can't get ahead, you need all these things to help you get ahead, all these things. It's like, well, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
It's like, it's bullshit. And to me, I don't like it. And I used to be very, very believing of the fact that this can turn around. And I remember Taj would always be like, I don't know, bruh. But as time has gone on, I really start to lose that hope, because on social media, it's like, even if you say something that's rational, that's provable, that's concrete, you'll still get attacked.
Well,
You'll still get attacked.
No, don't be.
Yeah,
don't,
my bad.
No, that's going to become a civil rights movement. Like, sir, yes, sir. No, sir, no, you can think whatever you want. This is not a Jamie Foxx Oscar bait role. Like, yes, master, no, master. Just interrupt.
No, to that point, exactly what you said, right? Who thinks Stephen A. Smith is whitewashed? Nobody. But now they're turned against him. Why? Because he said Carmelo Anthony was wrong.
Because when he was training sparring, he was punching a midget in a dick. I don't know if you've seen him hit the pads. Like, everything about that guy is fake.
So
as far as, I mean, but yes, they've turned on him now.
They turned on him.
He doesn't even like Trump.
It's interesting. It's interesting because I remember when I first started watching Stephen A. Smith's podcast, he was talking about how like immigration policies are racist. And it's
I
like,
know.
oh, it's affecting Latino community. It's like, well, if we look at the statistics, the majority of illegal immigrants are Latino or Hispanic.
Of course.
So it's like obviously those who look like them are going to be affected. The same way that a lot of people who commit violent crimes are black, people may assume based on my looks, I got dreads and tattoos, I'm a black guy. People say, oh, you want to be white. Nothing about me says I want to be white. Right. I have dreadlocks, I have tattoos, I identify as black. I'm as black as you can get. But it's like, if I say a dissenting opinion, obviously they say, oh, you're pandering to whites, you want to be white people this and that. It's like at what point do you listen to what I'm saying and say, okay, he's talking down on these negative aspects of black people. People are like, well, you always talk bad about black people. I'm black.
Yeah.
Like, you don't focus on white issues. I'm not white.
You know who will listen
Their issues
to you?
don't affect me.
You know who will listen to you on both? White people.
Yes.
That's my only solution. Like, this is going to sound horrible. And I know how this sounds. But it's the same thing with women, right? Women cannot police women. You ever get women in a group, like a women's Bible group, it becomes feminism really quickly. It does. It's like, it doesn't mean this, but it means this. And by the way, are these apples organic? Like, bitch.
so good. So good.
And it's the same thing with large groups of black people. And what I mean, like, I have a neighbor, I live in an area that's actually surprisingly pretty mixed. And where I live, I love because there's no HOA, and there's a $50 HOA, and it's like voluntary. But everyone keeps their shit nice. I have neighbors who are black, and the son has been working on a Dodge Charger for like the last 8 months of the project. Nothing like perpetuating the original stereotype. But I'll walk by with my dog, Joe Louis. He's a big old dog of Argentino, big white dog, looks like a Great Dane, and pit bull had a baby. And I've told the story on air, and I've had people say it's racist because I do an impression of this. She's an older black lady. She's like, you know, I see your dog. He behaves so well. I got bunnies. You bring him over. He can have a bunny buffet. Fix the problem. They're getting in my backyard. She's really nice. She's like, bring over Joe Louis. He eat my bunnies. She's really friendly, and I may bring him over to eat her bunnies. But like, we have a good interaction. Why? Because she wants the neighborhood to be nice.
Yes,
Exactly.
And if they were, I'm sure they probably vote Democrat, and I don't even know how all of you, I don't care. But we would be able to have a conversation. If you were to take that same family and put them in an entirely black area, it wouldn't be the same. They'd have that compression and that pressure to fit in with these constraints where they might have to behave in a way that they don't want to. It would be, ironically, the least real thing they could do. She wants a garden, and she hates the bunnies in her garden. That's who she is.
Yeah.
But that's not a lived urban experience. Like, getting black people around other racial demographics and realizing they don't hate you, provided that you honor these social contracts. That's all people are looking for.
Yeah. No, that's the best way to put it. It's like, you have to agree with what the general black consensus is. That's be Democrat, be against these things, be this and that. And if you're dissenting in any way, people online specifically get super mad. In the real world, I don't think it's as bad. I think in the real world, people walk free, and the people who think dissenting keep it quiet because they understand when you're vocal about it, you get attacked. It's a negative reaction. So to me, I think a lot of it is online, but the voice online is so big and so polarizing. It paints everybody in a bad light. And it's like, I've seen so many videos of black people like, this is so simple, guys. You can't bring a knife to school and stab someone. And if that happened to one of my family members, I'd want that kid to go away. Oh, you're coon. You're not black. He was attacked. No witness said he was attacked. There's 5 black witnesses. Even his own coach said he wasn't attacked.
But it's too much. Okay, look, this is a real challenge. Name me the last time that white Americans as a community coalesced and supported a murderer who was famous for nothing other than a murder.
Couldn't tell you.
You couldn't. That's the tribalism that white people, that's black fatigue. Where white Americans are going, if some white kid stabbed a black kid was in a school where he shouldn't be, you wouldn't find a single white person defending him.
100% I agree.
And that's where we're
and if you did, they'd be the minority. They'd be those crazy, oh, he killed a black guy. Yeah, that's really online though.
You wouldn't find them outside of a courthouse. They don't exist.
Yeah.
They don't exist because we actually are more colorblind than it, where we go like, okay, this is a bad person. This is a good Carmelo Anthony. It doesn't mean that they think that of all black people, but now white Americans are going, okay, I do feel more anxious around big groups of black people because I know that if something goes down, there's going to be a team of them versus us. And white people don't really have that team. We're the only people who don't. So they're intimidated and they're scared and they feel like they're not allowed to voice an opinion. You go to a water park and someone skips the line. If it's a white person, you go, hey, get the fuck out of here. If it's a black person, you go, oh, I don't want to have a hail of fists descend upon me.
No, but that's real. And also, just to be honest, we feel the same way. If you go to any black party that's all black and there's a flyer,
no police officer.
Probably gonna be bad.
it's gonna be. Like, we have witnessed some crazy things.
absolutely.
Gentlemen, is everything all right?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, very good.
Discussion, Sam.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you don't go.
Well, I hope I haven't said anything to offend you, gentlemen.
What have you said? You just asked if everything was all right.
I'm terribly sorry. Boys, men, gentlemen, brothers.
Oh my God.
You're good, bro. Just get out.
Yeah, you just gotta leave, man.
If you guys need a safe space, you can use my office. I can have a blacks only space for you guys.
I am so
if you
sorry.
wish, or,
I'm
if you guys feel comfortable in here,
We are now.
We're good, man.
Go.
You sure?
You can just get the hell out.
You're me close to fatigue right now.
Well, I'm very sorry about that. I will.
You're not sorry. You're going to do it again tomorrow. Please leave.
Okay.
The barbershop thing. That was one of those where I left. I was like, okay, there's no ability for me to make a difference. I thought that because they always say like, man, we got to talk. We got to have a dialogue. Now I come from a background in comedy, where black Americans are disproportionately represented because they're good. They're very good at it. I mean, if you ask any comedian, the top comedians of all time, 4 out of the top 10, probably more, will be black. You will have Richard Pryor up there.
Of course.
Yeah.
You will have Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock. Right now, Kevin Hart is the biggest name, and whether you think he's the best or not, but certainly as far as the most popular.
I would put Dave Chappelle up there.
Dave Chappelle, Eddie Murphy. I mean, they're all up there, right?
Definitely.
And that's just, it's a meritocracy.
Yeah.
And that when that doesn't work, they go like, well, we need more women in comedy. It's like, well, you got all the blacks in comedy. Why can we say, well, we did better there? But so it's nothing like we always rib each other, but being around a group of people who just, I thought I had a good rapport with them and was able to speak frankly, and they were just like, no, tribalism. Where even the moment where I said, okay, so what's the number? What's the number in reparations? And one of them actually just flat out said like 15 million each.
15 million.
Yeah, he
That'll
said something
bankrupt
like that.
America.
Remember he said like 10 million or so. I was like, are you out of your mind?
So the simple question I have to ask with that, because since slavery, the black population has grown. We have immigrants from all countries. We have black people who have come from black people and other immigrants. How do you even go about deciding who gets what? Because you've got even biracial people whose ancestors were freaking slaves. So it's like, how do you decide that?
Right.
To me, it's just like a pipe dream that they keep on selling. I saw some politician woman recently said, well, if black people think reparations aren't coming, they're going to stop voting. It's like, why the hell are you voting for that anyway?
Don't vote. That's where I am. Like, if that's the only reason you're voting, don't vote, because there are other. You know what? I don't want you. Someone can promise you reparations and open the border. Someone can promise you reparations and, of course, like pass the biggest spending bill, so we have record inflation. Someone can promise you reparations and we have record abortions, which amounts to a black Holocaust. Someone can promise you reparations and you lose your right to speak for like the Ministry of the Department of Misinformation, or you have an assault weapons ban and you can't carry anymore. So
Trans kids.
right, they can someone can promise reparations. Oh, by the way, we're going to trans 6-year-olds.
Yeah.
I don't want you voting.
You know, it's interesting that you say the abortions would bring a black Holocaust. I was actually at a wedding like 2 weeks ago. And I was sitting at a table with this girl. She was like, she's a dental assistant, and we were just kind of talking. And she was like, "So what do you do?" I was like, "I do commentary on YouTube." Whoop, whoop, whoop. And then she's talking about, "Oh, I don't like Trump. He's disrespectful to women." I was like, "Okay, what makes you think that?" And she's like, "Well, the abortion thing." I said, "Well, I can understand why you think that. Like, it's a big thing that women are very charged about, politically charged about." I said, "But me as a black man, I see it differently. I don't really like abortions because if you look at the number of abortions, black people are disproportionately affected by that." I said, like, so many black, I was like, what's the number, like 40 million?
It's at least 20 million on the low end.
Yeah, something like that. 20 million. I said millions of black kids have been aborted. I see that our population is stagnant and abortions is really hurting us. I don't like it. She looked me in the face and said, "Well, what if those kids were born in a really bad situation and the mom knew that that was her only option?" I said, "So the only option is to kill the child? Why not just not have sex?"
And who's to say that some of those kids couldn't have still outweighed the odds and did something?
Exactly. So
and then all these black people
she was
started.
white.
They could also become baby Hitler. You got a 50-50 shot. So
Yeah.
But
And
the
she
point
was
remains,
white,
you don't have the
by
right
the
to kill the
way.
kid.
Yeah, and she was white, by the way. So I tried, and she's liberal. She's very liberal. She came with a gay dude. So I'm
Don't get me started on those.
No problem with that. No problem with that. But I remember I was just sitting there talking. I'm thinking, okay, she's a liberal. I'm going to play the people of color card. Let's see how she responds.
So you just lean into it like, well, as a black man,
so like, well,
oh yes, please, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, she didn't bite at all. She's like, well, what if their best bet was to abort the child? I said, so you think the solution to being born in a bad situation is to just kill the child? I said, well, rather than have some personal responsibility and understand that you're in a bad situation, you shouldn't probably procreate. Sex, the consequence of sex is having a child. Why not just not have sex? It's so simple.
Yeah.
No, it's just better if they. And I'm like, oh, there's no.
But why, here's the question: why is a teen pregnancy rate so high in the black community? I'm sorry, it's the 21st century. Everyone knows about birth control. You can get a rubber for 25 cents at a truck stop. Why?
Music.
I think I know why.
Okay.
I think that everything in the black community is hyper. Like, if you're a man, you gotta be a killer. If you're a girl, you gotta be. I'm not gonna say a hoe, but everything is just hyper sexualized.
You have to be sexually very viable.
Yeah, like you got
a lot of your worth. Right?
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So, but then in that same breath, I get confused because it's like there's a lot of black people, especially in the South, who are very biblical Christians, black, but then all y'all will vote for abortion and LGBTQ kids and all these things that are directly contradicting against the Bible, just because you're told by Lyndon B and all these people to vote Democrat.
Just because, to me, it's because the Democrat Party has so many black women in positions of power. So I think naturally they speak to the black community and they gravitate towards that way because in the black community, it's almost a matriarchy. And no disrespect to the matriarchy, no disrespect to women in general, but I think that's the problem. Men lead. Mm-hmm. Men lead. Every strong community is led by men. Every strong home is led by men, and that's no disrespect to women.
That's biblical.
But here's the thing, though, too. But you know who else has I've talked about this. A matriarchy is the Hispanic immigrant community.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of. Well, in other words, in a different way. They have fathers in the home, but so I've talked about this quite a bit. And actually, you know what? Here, let's give one more plug because we're going to go to Rumble Premium where people can watch continue. So that way, because we have to go to another show. But where's the best place for people to find you? And we'll continue talking about matriarchy and Carmelo Anthony. Yeah. It's the Cartier family
on YouTube.
Yes,
on YouTube.
YouTube, Cartier Family Z on Twitter. That's where we're at. You can find all our stuff there.
Taj?
Tay Glory Reacts.
Spell it for me.
TAEGLORY Reacts.
All right.
Yeah, and then Brock Appia, just my name, BROCK APPIAH.
Well, I'm glad because your family's actually African, so I was worried you were going to spell it.
We might change.
We'll be right back, Rumble Premium.